Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the new War in the West series. I was going to say to the rising sun, but that's not correct. Welcome to the Fatherland. I'm going to say the Fatherland because for the Fatherland, welcome to the fourth. Blah blah blah. It just does not roll off the tongue. So yes, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. So we're going to zoom in here. Now, I did have some issues attaching the links to the prior episode. I'm going to do that after this stream. They should be ready to go, to be fair. So yes, we go right back into things. We're still within the air planning phase, so we need to get those ongoing. Hello there, Com. Hello there, Neuhauser and Rez. How you doing, my dudes? I hope you are well. Okay, so I'm kinda debating reassessing these actual missions. Hello there, Daniel. How are you doing, my dude? Namely, let's take a quick look over here then. Hello there, Loba. How we doing? Luba Loba. Okay, so what I'm going to take a look at then is this over here. So let's bring up the second Yagd core. There's the first, which I do need to do something about. Right, the second. Okay. Right. So if we take a look over here then. No, I'm not going to drop the Rising Sun campaign. Don't worry about that. I'm just doing this one because it was so well liked, so I thought I'd put an episode out. Since though everybody has really gone to some effort in actually showing me that they do want to see this. So I thought I'd go with this, and I'd like to get a turn done in War in the West, and then we'll be able to dish things out evenly to a degree. Okay, so what I want to do then is I want to take a look at the range. Now notice this one is quite far away, which is obviously no good. Not good at all. So what I'd like to do then is have this rebased. And you can see it's based all the way over to Munster. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to have them reassigned to an airbase closer to their actual mission. So we're going to look at JG54, the Focke-Wulf 198. So I'm going to transfer them over. So I'm going to take them from over here. Okay. The Focke-Wulf 198s. There we go. 52 of them. We'll transfer them over to Utrecht, or to Amsterdam could be a good idea, to be fair. Flak, we have a Flak regiment and a mixed Flak battalion. Over here we are lacking Flak, and I do need to address that situation ASAP. I definitely need to address this. I might even move more of these planes back to Amsterdam. Hello there, Lorenzo. How we doing? I know, no Lexington to sing this time. Now that might have affected the mission due to them having travelled, but we'll take a quick look and make sure they're still on the ball here. Okay, so you can see the range is actually much less over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this squadron of BF-109s, which are based over here. So that is the squadron JG-26. Where are they? JG-26. BF-109s, based in Amsterdam. Hello there, Napoleon, how we doing? Okay. I'm going to leave the actual fighters based closer to the front. Yeah, these are Focke-Wulf 109F8 can move up. The situation is much as it was before. We've not actually completed a turn yet, so we're still on waiting. Still waiting on that. Actually, I'm going to base them all in the level 3 airfields. That would be the best. I mean, the situation is pretty poor. I suppose you could put it that way. I suppose it's not too bad. It's somewhat stable-ish for the moment in time. And if we take a look at here, we have about almost 2.6 million men to command in the west. We have 43,963 pieces of artillery of varying categories, and obviously calibers. We have 4,129 armoured fighting vehicles available to us. About 4,249 planes ready and available. So what we could do over here then is we could actually take a look at our production. Now, production is something that is rather key, and I'm looking forward to future iterations of Getting Grigsby games where the production will be more focused on, which I would love. So I'm going to put our production filter on here. So you can see here the numbers aren't great. This is obviously for the air. So if we go by types, we can see that capacity built. Right, we don't have any built yet because obviously the game hasn't started as of this moment in time. We do have 66 BF-109s in the pool, 63 Focke-Wulf 190s. We do have some ME-163s, which I do need to find, actually. A good amount of ME-262s. Okay. Good armament, good speed. Okie dokie. Not many Elrados, obviously. We're not going to have many of those bad boys. We do still have some King Tigers. We should still have Tigers as well elsewhere. Panthers, King Tiger, Königstiger. Okay, we might not actually have any Tiger 1s, potentially. Is this better than Hearthfire 4? Yes, much better. Okay, we'll take a look at that in the future. Right, so we'll get back into this. So I've reduced the range of these squadrons attacking over here. We've also moved them to air bases that are much better for their task, which is good to see. So, let's take a quick look at this at the moment. They might be staging, yeah, their staging base is over here. What I'd like to do is have them stage at Utrecht, so then at least they're closer to the action. So if we take a look at that again, you can see that range is down to 20 hexes, which is much, much better for our task here. So we'll go over to our attack over here and we'll adjust things as we did before. So you can see the ranges are all over, so I'm going to look for JG 1. Okay, I believe that over here. Yeah, JG1. So I'm going to transfer them to the air bases closer to the front line. Then again, we are basing from the airfield over here. I suppose we could change the actual base. Well, staging base. We'll move them closer anyway. Well, let's take a quick look then. So, where are we staging? So we're staging over here. I suppose what we could do is we could stage... If I staged at Munster, wouldn't be very good. We'll stage over here then. Okay, range is lowered, but we obviously do need to move them. So JGR10 is going to move. JGR10 is... yeah, over here. So we can see by the highlighted one. Okay. Yeah, the problem is replacements. It will be an issue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict replacements. Alright. Going to move them close to the front line. There we go. Okay, so we have multiple Jagdhors over here. You do obviously need to change them around. Okay. JG1. Now these airfields are obviously going to be suffering here. I mean, we do have a level 3 airfield over here, which would be really quite nice to use. Which is under the second. It does have the ME-262s. I think what I'll do is I'll move the ME-262s over Essen, and then we could have them run air superiority, potentially. I am somewhat tempted to throw them into the fray, but I do class them as very valuable and effective aircraft. So I think their time will come, we're just going to have to find when that will be. So let's see then. But this is very tempting. I mean, it would be a great base to base from. Okay. Take these 4 aircraft. Move them to Dortmund. Okay, they're based in Munster. We'll base them at this airfield then. Oh, I'll base them at Dortmund. They are over capacity, but I'm going to keep them together for the time being, just so we can go from there. We might actually have them base over here at a level 3 air base. We'll see about that one. Okay. We do have more planes available, as I do have another Jagd Corps, which is something I could note. In fairness, what we might do then is actually take a look at the strength of the actual air corps. That'd be quite nice to see, to be fair. So, can I go to my order of battle? Am I going to be able to see that here? Right. Okay. These are our air bases here. Just remove those air bases. Let's take a look. So we have Luftflottille Reich, Italian Luftwaffe Command, and Luftwaffe West, basically Luftflottille 3. So you can see in this command we have 1,708 fighters, 422 bombers, 146 auxiliary aircraft. Within Luftflottille Reich, we do have that breakdown, so they do have command of 1,500 fighters. We do have a Jagd Corps, the first Jagd Corps, with 890 fighters. So they're not running any bombers at all, which is something that we do have to consider. So what we could do then is actually have the first Jagd Corps potentially form air superiority, which could be a good idea. We'll see. Now, let's see. And here we have the second, only 178 bombers, while as the second, sorry, the Luftflottille 3 has 422. That is definitely a difference in terms of numbers and availability. So, it's something that we do have to consider, really. Namely, where these planes actually are as well is obviously something we'll have to take a look at. Like, we have Junkers 88s over here, Night Fighters. Okay. Focke-Wulfs, BF-109s, 110s, ME-410s, 109s. Yeah, okay. Right. I think I'll go into that more so. I think we'll get the first turn down and then we'll go from there. Okay. Now what we could do is have the first Jagd Corps to run air superiority as well as ground support missions. Obviously having fighter cover would be quite an advantage. It's not going to be as advantageous on the ground, but I mean having air cover would be quite nice. Potentially so, but then again, superiority could be quite nice. If I run superiority in this area here, that could be very good. If I run superiority over here, it's going to help out our air forces, but I think running in this area here could make a big difference. Namely, if we keep these air bases suppressed, really open up the front for our actual bombers, that'd be very nice to see. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to run it over this area over here then. So I'm going to select the first Jagd Corps. I'm going to run a superiority mission over here. A base would be good from here, the level 3 air base. And I'm going to expand the area to 3, which is actually quite large, so we'll make that 2. Now 2 is going to cover the targets over here, and that's pretty great, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it over here. Put it between them all, see if I can reduce it even further. No, so what I'll do then is I'll make it a size 2, put it back over here then. Has anyone ever won from a 1945 scenario? 44? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Would have to see. Will you do your encirclement towards Brussels? Yeah, we're going to make our way towards there. It would be nice. Historical ability to gain air supremacy in the lowlands, indeed. We're going to focus on a very tiny stretch over here. And see what we can throw in there. It's interesting to see that the range is not exactly great. The vast majority of them are elsewhere. I mean, these are all night fighters. Why are they all on night? Unless the first Jagd Corps is in fact a night fighter group. Which... they are. Okay, that's interesting. Righto. I think what we'll do then is set up night fighting missions then. Okay. So we'll run supremacy over these areas over here, and so we'll run it in the night, so these would be night intruders. As you can see, the numbers increase there. Right, so I'm going to make that a fair size. Put some planes on here then. We're looking at range. Range is what we need. Range isn't exactly great. Now these are Yonkia 88s. Okay, that's decent enough. Okay, done with that. And altitude 15,000 feet, need to increase that. Whoops. Okay, we'll make that about... Actually, if you take a look at that, the altitude. We'll run as high as we can then. Which is about 29,000 feet. There we go, confirm air directive. Air directive confirmed. We'll select other areas of industry like alone. Okay, range is obviously not going to be good. What I'll do then is unassign some planes. And there we go. Done. Seems like an issue of lack of aircraft. Throw these back in here then. Okay. So we'll change this hex then. What do we have over here in Hamburg? Need to protect Berlin. Range is obviously out of reach, so we'll change that then. Let's actually take a look at where these are based. So Frankfurt, over here in the north. Okay. So what I could potentially do there then is, let's see. If we go to Air Directive Summary. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to Automatic Air Directive Summary. And I wish I could change the actual ones that would be managed. That'd be great. Okay. We'll set them as close as we can do then. We do have a lot of night fighters. We just need to make use of them. Okay, so we'll set superiority to where about 7. So we'll cover like Frankfurt and areas like that. Okay, I need to run that as a night mission. Night intruder. There we go. Confirm. Confirm directive. Too distant. In fairness, I need to move them around. Defend Wilhelmshaven. We'll take a look. I mean, in all fairness, I should be moving these planes manually, but I'm fairly lazy. Oh dear. Right, that's better. Yeah, much better. Need to sort by range. So 29,000 feet seems to be okay. Do you have any forces in Norway? We don't, because they're not modelled in this scenario as far as I'm aware. Right, 29,000 feet. Firm directive. Right, we'll set that as our actual doctrine. That'll make things much easier. Okay. Not very close to this location, so I suppose it would have to be elsewhere then. Okay. Yeah, we are going to, whoops. We're gonna narrow down the actual size of the front line, which will make it obviously more manageable. Night Intruder. Okay. That'll do. Okay. They've moved to the wrong location. So I've got over here, so they need to be moved back to Hamburg. Yeah, there we go. Let's increase the size of that hex. Okay, I see. So there, Snake, how you doing, my dude? Ah, I see. Okay, we can't cover that. And the council... The one at Frankfurt? Cover Cologne? I could do with moving these much closer. Okay, base at Frankfurt. Okay, the Beaufort Castle. That's good then. Oh, castle. Awesome. That makes it easier to move them up then. Guess we'll move them over there. Okay. We'll run a superiority mission then in the day if we can. Or do I run ground support? We'll see what we have available to throw in for ground support then. So we'll take the 2nd, and we will support the force over here. So they will more than likely... Let's just quickly check about the order of battle. So Army Group B... Okay. I'm going to commit them to the Panzer Corps, which is under the 5th Panzer Army. The SS over here, they're under the 6th Panzer Army. Well, the 6th SS Panzer Army. 1st SS Panzer Corps. Okay. So they're all under different commands. So we have the 6th Panzer Corps, sorry, SS Panzer Corps, and then we have the 6th SS Panzer Army, and then we have the 5th Panzer Army. Okay, so they're both under Army Group B. So if we go to the order of battle, check out Army Group B. Okay, so the 6th SS Panzer Army has 981 armoured fighting vehicles, the 5th Panzer Army has 662. So if we take a look at over here at our commander, so we have Sepp Dietrich. He's not a bad commander actually, he's not a bad one. We could assign more support elements, but what we're going to do quickly is actually support the airfields over here. So I'm going to go into here and click on the actual airbase itself. And we'll assign some AA. Right, these are in actual HQs. What I need to do then is find some free floating, if I have them available. Those are construction units. Okay. We'll take these from OKW. We do have some mixed flak battalions on the way now, which is going to make something of a difference. Will be decent. It's not going to be great, but it's better than absolutely nothing. Right, mixed flak. Okay. That'll cover those at the moment. I'm somewhat concerned, should I be using this AA in the actual forces? Which is probably a better idea. Let's see. I'm looking at Army Group B. So I'm going to assign the heavy flak from Army Group B as well, some mixed flak, to the 6th SS, the 2nd SS Panzer Corps, part of the 6th SS Panzer Army. Okay. We do have the 9th SS Panzer Corps, which is actually unsupported at this moment in time, so that's really no good. Now we do have the anti-tank over here, so the heavy Panzerjäger battalion, which I'm going to hold in reserve for the time being. These are in the 2nd SS Panzer Corps. These over here we can move out from OKW, so Oberkommando de Wehrmacht. Okay. We're going to move in extra heavy flak over here as well as some mixed flak. Oh, this is an actual division. Whoops, my bad. Still, it's not bad to have the heavy flak in here. I'll move it back out afterwards. That was my bad, I was taking a look at the wrong unit. I was thinking the 9th SS Panzer Division. My bad, I was looking at the core and I thought this was an actual core. Silly me. Alright, the 1st SS Panzer Corps, then the 2nd SS Panzer Corps. That's what I was looking for. 1st SS Panzer Corps. I was thinking that's rather odd, but it's unsupported. Right, Fortress Howitzer Battalion. Okay. We'll assign more flak. There we go. Don't choose clumsy commanders. Hello there guys, how are we all doing today? Jesus, I can't believe half an hour's gone by already. Need to get a move on with things, don't I? Right, so what we're going to do then is going to run a air superiority mission over here then if we are able to do so. So yes, we're going to run it here. Do I already have it set up? I don't believe I already have it set up. Okay, so running in the day, we'll increase our size to, let's see, 2. He's somewhat better. Valve's moving this way. I might be better off even just making it size 1 like this and have it cover all these actual targets. It would honestly probably be the best idea. Can't stage obviously at Arnhem. I mean we could, but I'd rather stage over here. Yeah, range isn't too bad. I'm going to have the ME-262s in this actually. Right, these are inactive at the moment. I'll have them moved up closer though, if they can do. It might be an issue of the staging base, so if we change the staging base back to Arnhem, let's see. Yeah, I can run another squadron here. So JG-26 is what we're looking for. There we go, we're going to move them up to Arnhem. We'll balance this out then somewhat. There we go, that's a lot better now. Okay. Back to our supremacy mission. Seems like they're not just able to fly at the moment. Change our staging to Arnhem. Right. It's a shame that we don't have any airfields in between. That works fine anyway. We'll go with that. Confirm. Confirm directive. Let's see, we might run another mission over here then. Nothing available right now, so we'll cancel that mission. Okay. Now, as far as it goes elsewhere, it's really going to be a matter of just seeing how the enemy responds, to be honest. Okay. So with our mission set up over here then, I suppose we might run another reconnaissance mission if I do have it available. Let's see, do we have anything else available? I only have 6 reconnaissance planes over here, but honestly that's probably better than nothing. Let's take a look at the actual planes themselves. BF-109s, what are they using? Low level cameras, so they need to be at low altitude. Let's see. 15,000 feet is probably okay, but I'm going to make that about 16,000 feet. I also need to take a look at my other reconnaissance mission, if I do indeed have one, which is over here. I'm going to change that altitude to pretty high, actually, about 36,000 feet. That's when these high-level cameras actually become quite useful. Now, obviously, it's reducing the amount of planes here, but that's fine. Okay. So that's been altered. I would do an encirclement but cuts in through small towns, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go directly into the city. If I can avoid the city, I will do. If I can take the city, I will. But I'd rather not fight in an urban arena. It's honestly not to our advantage. I might see if I can pull off an attack at Saint-Rond. We do have 143 planes over there. We do have 2 other air bases that might be possibly hit. But we'll take a look then. So let's see what we have available for ground attacks. We're going to take you over here. Wrong target. Move you there. In fairness, I could use ground attacks against the enemy here, but I'd rather hit their air power. That's what's going to hurt them more than anything at the moment. Staging bases, we're sort of lacking at the moment. Okay. We'll throw in what we have available then. Altitude is 30,000 feet. Okay, that sounds okay. Right. It's not the greatest setup. I could do a lot more, but I do want to get things moving on. Now, over this way, what do we have in terms of numbers? We do have very little plane. Very little planes really available. So if we can run superiority, that would probably be the best thing we could do right now. Italian Luftwaffe Command is pretty famished. So we'll make this about 1 hex. Just throw what we have available. That'll do for the time being. Okay. So we'll set up some air superiority missions over industrial areas. Sort by range. And there we go. That'll do. Confirm mission. Okay. Then Leipzig, Dresden, this sort of area. It's a little bit far away. I'll cover Munich. We do have some ME-262s. So confirm. Okay, that looks about fine for now. This is going to be rough. I'm not going to make any excuses for this, but this is going to be rough. Okay. So what we're going to do then is going to turn this off for the time being. I'm also going to turn off the weather so we can see things clearly. And let's just take a look here then. So losses were at 0. Just bear that in mind because this could be potentially horrific. But I'm going to go with that. We're going to execute our directives and hope for the absolute best in all honesty, because this is going to be painful. Okay, so we can see our reconnaissance going ahead over there. There goes the bombing attacks. Right, we've lost a few planes already. The Allies haven't really lost many planes. They've lost a couple on the ground, but the idea here is really we hit their air bases and actually hurt them. Losses aren't as bad as I was fearing, however. I know they seem a little bit higher, but they're not too bad. Okay, so we lost about 155 aircraft. We damaged, we had another 210 damage. I know that seems really bad, but you have to imagine we're really going up against it here. The air bases, they've lost about 35 planes and 50 were damaged. What we need to do then is really see what damage we inflicted to the air bases themselves. That's what I'd like to see. Yeah, I know that seems really underwhelming. Okay. Right, okay, so this one took 39% damage. 0% damage. 0% damage, okay. So it seems that we were lacking bombers, really. I think we might have done better by concentrating the bombers then, perhaps. Maybe we went for too many actual air bases. That's definitely a possibility. But we never knew how things could turn out. Okay, so now we're in the land phase. Now this is where things get rather interesting. So we do have to focus on objectives. Now, let's see. We identified an area of least resistance. So let's see. Let's bring this up here then. So we can see here the terrain. So on the ground we have light snow. Over here we have clear. You can see here that they have roughly 39 defensive combat value. Here 30, here... I mean, information is lacking. It's not very good. We take a look. So reconnaissance level isn't exactly great. We really didn't get that much reconnaissance. Okay. Definitely would have liked more, but that's fine. We'll just have to make do. Right. I could more than likely break that. We'll definitely break that. So the detection is at 5, obviously because of our forces facing them. So we do have an approximate idea of what they are, who they are, but we don't really know that much about their capabilities. So what we want to do then is go by the age-old maximum of attack from the rear and then move like so. So attack with the forces first to the rear and go from there. The only issue here is the fact that we're somewhat limited on space. But I think what we're going to do then is going to pull back to our lines over here. Now this would be the better idea. Though in fact I'm going to take a look at my logistics. So our logistics network is functioning a-okay for the time being. Now we do produce this, so over here is a national source of supply, which we don't really need to worry about too much. Dortmund. I could create a depot here. I don't believe I need to. Damage is quite high. You'll have to guess where they're holding their supplies to capture them. I mean, that would be really nice if I could find out. I'm going to assume, obviously, in the towns and cities. We'll see. There will be depots out and about, which we will find and ideally capture. But we'll go into that when we get into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, as you can see here, the depots in this area built up, so these are level 4 priority. So more supplies will be moving down that way. What I need to understand is actually the logistical requirements of my armies. So if we take a look at the 6 SS Panzer... let's see, supply details. If I go into Commander's Report, Headquarters... If we sort by AFVs, we'll find them pretty easily. Okay. So we have the 1st SS Panzer Corps and the 2nd SS Panzer Corps. They're under the command of 6 SS Panzer, which is over here. Yep, okay, 981. So what I want to see here then is the supply requirements, ideally. Which is going to be a little bit harder to see than you'd imagine. Okay. So maximum table equipment. So these guys are elite status. That's good to know. What I'm looking for then is vehicles. Right. Current supply. Right, here we go, vehicles. So you can see here the vehicle percentage. So overall, it's around average 90 odd, but some units are lacking vehicles, but these are mostly flak, which doesn't particularly matter too much. Required supply. Received supply. Okay. Right. Supply percentage. So you can see some units have over their allocated supply and actually built up. On average, it's okay. It's not the greatest. Right, tons of supply in the unit. It's not a huge amount, in all honesty. We might get a more accurate amount of supply needed over here. Right. Okay, so they need 35 tons. How much do the divisions need? So the 1st SS Panzer Division, You can see here that they need 141 tons of supply, they need 594 tons of fuel, and 1,000 plus tons of ammo. They do have the support required, they have over the support required, which is good to see. Supply details. So in the unit we have 142 tons of supply. How much should we receive? So we haven't received any because we've actually been good on supply, so that's decent to see. But we will have to get more supply moving up, which is going to be more difficult than you can imagine. Right. How much supply is moving to this depot? Yeah, so at the moment we only have 125 tons of supply here, which is really not a lot. Hmm. 400 trucks. Right, 800 trucks over here, which is a lot better. Let's take a look at what we have in the depot. Only 75 tons of supply. Honestly, not a lot. Not a lot. Now, what we can do about that is we can actually move some planes around. So if we take a look, I'm going to find my air transport squadrons. Okay. So I'm going to sort by aircraft type. So transportation. Whereabouts are they? Right, they're over here actually. Yeah, we have Junkers 52s. Okay, so TG2 and TG3. Right, okay. What we can do with that then is we can have them fly supplies to the front line. We suffer from the fact that we don't have an airfield over here. Or do we have an airfield? Let's take a quick look. No, but we do have an airfield here. We do have one at Trier. We do thankfully have an airfield over here. So what it might be better off doing then is if we fly supplies in over that way, they'll move in to the actual depot. If we fly our supplies over here, we do run a risk, but it is going to be closer to the actual depot, and it's going to be closer to the units that need it. But then again, if we supply this base, that'd probably be the better choice. I do wish that we had one base in the middle. That'd make things really quite nice, but we don't, so that's an issue. But what I'm going to do then is I'm going to fly supplies over this way. I could fly them to the Panzer Army over here, which is debatable actually. I think what we might do then is fly our supplies over by the depot at Bitburg. I could even fly them to Trier, and then they'd move along the lines, but I'd rather have them closer to the front line. Namely, if we fly supplies here, they're going to find it easier to make their way out to where they're needed. Though, we do have another option, which would be to put the command over here on the actual airfield so that we could directly supply them, and then they could directly pass those supplies out, which would be a good idea. But what we're going to do then is take a look over here. Okay. So, we do have Volks, so the People's Artillery Brigades, 75mm guns, we do have 105s, 120s, 150s. Nothing huge. They're set to reserve status. Yeah, we do have some 210mm howitzers over here. These are okay. Right, we do have Volksgrenadiers, Volksgrenadiers, which are pretty handy in a fight. But actually some of the best units that we do have, to be fair. The West Wall, 276 volt Grenadier, 212 volt Grenadier. What are they actually equipped with? Panzerschreck. They do have some Jagdpanzer 38s. So headsets. Nothing too beefy though. I'd rather not waste them, but we'll see what we can do. We're facing here two elements of the US Armoured, well sorry no, a element of the US Armoured, and we have a element of US Infantry over here. This is going to be the place where we punch through though. That is the best place. It's the one that's the lightest defended. Okay. So here and here. This is the 28th. Yeah, so the 28th Division is holding this, which is obviously far more than what they should be holding. Okay. A little bit irritated that we have the 560th Volksgrenadier Division all the way up in this position. They're really not much of what you'd call a division anymore, considering their strength is pathetic. Okay. Always reluctant to make the first attack. It's always the most difficult one. What we'll do then is we'll see. So we do have a 150th Panzer Brigade over here. They do have a couple Panthers, couple Jagd Panzers. Nothing huge. Mobile wagon. Infantry here. Right. Yeah, divisions really aren't divisions. They're just really not. So they're set to reserve. What is the commandability then of this army? So the 5th Panzer Army. You could command more units. I'm half tempted to put this corps under the command of the 5th Panzer Army, which I think I will do. Right, 5th Panzer Army. Okay, that's fine, we can still hold that. The reason I'm doing that is because I want them to work more in, more together. Well, closer together. Okay. What do the Forschungsjägers have in terms of support? Forschungsjäger, Stug Brigade. Okay. What are the fortifications like? It's level 1 fortifications. We could do some pioneers. I think what we're going to do is we're going to use the Forschungsjäger along with the infantry here to punch through. I think that would probably be the best start. The infantry here isn't going to be doing much of the movement. So this is where we're going to have to concentrate our attacks. Okay. We do have the Volksgrenadiers. This one I'd like to move out elsewhere. They're actually well provisioned, which makes a change. Yeah, the Panzers don't have a huge amount of fuel, but they do have fuel, which is actually a big difference, believe it or not. Okay. I'm half tempted to disband that fortification, so we can move another division into that area. Well, we'll see how it comes. I realise I'm spending a long time on this, but we need to be sure of what we're doing here. I should assign ground support, but we'll make do without. I didn't want to lose too many planes, because I do want to hold on to them and use them where they're going to be more, well, viable. Okay, so what we're going to do then is going to take some support and assign it to the Forschungsjäger division. So we do have Flak, in Army Group B. Flak. Marine Heavy Flak Battalion. Okay, we'll take the Flak Battalion. I do like the Flak, so I'll take more Flak. Okay. So if we take a look over here then. So we do have more 88mm guns. 88mm guns, yep, okay. That's better. Do I have pioneers? I do have pioneers. Though they're in the Panzer Corps. Which is a little bit far out for my taste. Yeah, the Panzer Corps are somewhat far away from the action. It's an issue due to the limited amount of space here. Now I could move the Panzer Corps over here, which I will do. That one will remain in position then for the time being. Okay. At least that a little bit closer now. Okay. What do we have in reserve? I do have the infantry here. I do have infantry closer to the front line, but I could send instead. Then again, they're in contact with the enemy, so that's going to reduce them. Okay. What we'll do then is we'll move the infantry up over here. Infantry. Okay, they're down to 162 movement points, so that's not bad. It's really not too bad. You can see that they've used a lot of our supply, our fuel, whatever you want to call it. It's not the best. Okay, so we could make a planned attack against this force here, which I think is going to be the best idea. So throw our forces here into the first battle of the campaign. I am very much hoping that we break through. I'm somewhat tempted to overestimate their strength. But again, it's only... It's a very small force, isn't it, at the end of the day? We'll commit to a full attack. Right, the enemy is held. I feel like I should have increased the strength there. Yeah, okay. Their fortifications have been diminished. We could go for another full attack, but I think I will have it supported by other units as well. Okay. I'm reluctant to use panzers, so I'm going to use my infantry. Right, they've been forced to retreat. Losses 2,000, almost 2,000 infantry. We lost 46 planes. You can see why I've kept these in reserve, because they're actually able to help us out here. Is this a mod for the one in the west? Yes, it is indeed a mod for the one in the west. Not the scenario, but the actual map itself is a mod. Okay, so we've broken through. The allies have taken over 1,000 casualties, so 1/5 of their strength. They've lost some planes here. Importantly, they've lost a lot of armoured fighting vehicles. We retain our armoured fighting vehicle strength. And we have a breakthrough, which is good to see. So now, that breakthrough is okay, but we need to exploit it. Now, the Jäger cannot push up. The infantry here has somewhat expanded strength, so what we'd have to do then is use this Panzer Division to push on. Yeah, we did actually have the Panzer Division in here. Okay. I don't want to use them all because at the end of the day, I want them to move. So we do have a choice here. We need to push these away. Do I have anything capable of attack? I only have 3 divisions there that could attack. I don't feel like this is the best breakthrough. I feel like I should have committed more to the first attack. But this is what happens. This is a learning experience. It's been some time since I played one in the west, so this is all very new. And that's my excuse, I'm going to stick to it. Okay. We are playing on challenging, by the way, so the AI is a little bit more difficult. Okay. I'm somewhat tempted to send the 26 Vurt Grenadiers forward, which I will do. Right, so we can see here the 28th. Let's see. Supply priority. Morale. Ammunition is a good one. But we can see a bit of information. Hello there, JV. How are you doing, my dude? Okay. We need to open this up, in all honesty. I'm going to move that headquarters there. Now, these forces can actually... Well, they could make... Well, they could make a... They could make an attack. What I'm considering here is opening this up so I could move a Panzer Division. Or another infantry division over here. We do have a mechanized corps. But that's not exactly great. Okay. Though I am somewhat reluctant to attack here, because at the end of the day, what do I actually gain? There is a minor river here, which is going to make things difficult. So I think what we'll do then is we'll attack this province over here. The terrain is clear, which is the best we're going to get. I do have the Volksgrenadiers. I could use them to attack over here, but that's not a wise move. I am somewhat tempted to move the 116th Panzer Division. I do have the 130th Panzer Division. The 130th could move there, 48. Oops. You could move there with 49. I'm going to use the... Is this the 5th? Yes, I'm going to use the 5th Panzer Army to really open up this gap. And then I'll use the SS Panzer Army to actually move through and exploit. That's the idea here. Could you draw your plans? I'm lost. Okay, I'll draw them. Right, so we've attacked over here. What I'm wanting to do is move these forces out of the way. Then what we'll have is a corridor about yay wide, which is very, very tiny. If we do make it through over here, the plan then will be, in Phase 2, moving around and exploiting towards Namur. If we can push onto Namur, take the airfield at Donat, I can fly supplies in. Ideally a large air base like this one over here would be great, but we're not going to have that luxury. But taking this air base is the priority here, mostly due to the fact I can then fly supplies in via air transport. So we'll take that. The base over here, the town of Marche, would be great, or much, however the hell you say it. And importantly, what I wanted to do here is a secondary objective, which is to sever the rail connections for the Allied forces over here. As you can see, that will make things more difficult. We'll sever their communications between the south and the north, which isn't going to slow them down much, but it is going to slow them down to some degree. It's also going to inhibit the supplies to these forces here, which is what we want to do. So what we need to do then is actually have these forces break through. I'm going to draw yellow. So the SS Panzer Army will then move through here to exploit. I need to use the 5th Panzer Army just basically to open this gap. There's not going to be any other way to do it other than using them, as I would rather not. So we're going to have to throw our forces in here and really make the best of this then. Okay. Now I do have Volksgrenadier, Volksgrenadiers over here. I could push this force back over here, which is a potential possibility. They do have 2 forces here. They have one over here, which is a full division. Over here they have 2 elements of the 7th, sorry, 1 element of the 7th US Armoured and 1 element of the 9th US Armoured. Over here we do have the 28th, 2 elements of the 28th. Okay. Identifying who they are is really quite important as well, because at the end of the day, if we force them away from their constituent division, that is going to weaken them. Okay. Do we throw the infantry in over here? I would like to make this gap 3 wide. Yeah, it's on the strategy. I don't know what that 3rd unit is. It does look like it belongs to another nationality. It does look like it might be potentially British forces. As you can see, the British are the darker colour, so that looks like a British unit here, potentially. I don't know what we're dealing with. I wish I had a higher level of reconnaissance over here, so I wish I'd committed more reconnaissance assets to that and had air support, but we'll have to make do with what we have. Okay. Now, I could move... Let's see, so if I was to move the Volksgrenadiers... Yeah, they'd not have much. We might be better off using our forces over here to weaken them. The infantry here is okay. Not really. Right. What we're going to do then is going to launch an attack at the north. I'm going to launch an attack here. I'm going to pray that this is going to be enough. Right. thankfully that is enough. Okay. So that is actually the best result I could have wished for there, which is really good. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go back and take a look at battles. Let's see, how do I bring that back up again? Battles, okay. Right, here we go. Here's our battle sites. So if we take a look over here then, show the details. So, we only lost a light amount of men. To say that there's over 11,000 troops here, almost 12,000 troops there, that was pretty good result there. Okay. So, they lost 18 guns, 6 armored fighting vehicles. That's pretty decent. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that result there. I'm very happy with that result. Ground elements. Yeah, a lot of our forces were disrupted, which is good to see. Okay, I'm happy with that result. Right, that opens things up for us now. We did have reconnaissance, but not very good reconnaissance. I suppose the level of it wasn't adequate. But this is good news. So, the fact is that we can now move these forces. What I could do is move the Jägers to take this position here, potentially. Which I think I will do, so they're part of the 1st SS Panzer Corps. Though the thing is, there's divisions here, there's 2 brigades over there, but we can't break that through. So what we're going to do then is we're going to move up the Jägers. Okay, so now that we have the Jägers moved up, they can... Right, they can actually commit to a planned attack, which is fantastic. I'm happy about that result. Okay, so now all we need to do is dislodge this unit here, and we should be okay. Is paratrooping an option combined with your thrust? Potentially so, but let's see. So air transport mode, our planes are based over this way. We do have some Jägers that are able to be dropped. Where are they set to? 106, 188. 106, 189. Well, on 688. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to drop them over there. Though, I could drop them. We'll see about targets. I'd rather have them move elsewhere. Ideally there, if you could manage it, that'd be great. Okay. So they're not going to be of any use right now. I mean, they could have been, but the fact is they have the armored here. That's really not going to help us out. So I'd rather not see my Jägers actually butchered, as they're pretty precious. Very precious indeed. Okay. I can resupply my forces using the air transports. So we can't break that division here. What do we stand to benefit from this? So we have 2 Volksgrenadier divisions, which is actually quite nice to see. I mean, obviously they're not full divisions as you would imagine, but they do make up numbers, and numbers are important. Now, these forces do have a luxury of choice now. So what we can do is I can move up forces. So I'm going to move up the 116th Panzer Division. I'm going to advance them north. Okay. Now that does free up more room for the headquarters to move up, as well as the 130th Panzer Division. So 38 there, 44 there. Let's see. How much power could I put in here? So I could have 2, 14, 19, 23 attack, which is not quite enough. Going to need more. I could throw the Panzer Grenadiers over there, but that's something of a waste. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to have the 130th move up then, potentially. Though the 560th could move up there. They could move there and obviously be wasted. Do I have anything that could move up to that spot and not be wasted? That's the thing. Okay. I think what we'll do then is... Let's see. I also need to make sure we have room to move, to be fair. Right. I feel panzers concentrated would be panzers used well. The infantry are kind of pointless, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them up over here. They're going to hold this position to a better degree. The 130th Panzer Division will move up, so we do have 31 strength here now. Okay. So I could move a Volksgrenadier Division. I do have 2 of them over here. Okay. But they don't have much movement. Okay. Let's give them some support elements. We'll give it to the 130th. There we go. And some artillery, well, anti-aircraft artillery. So, missed flak. And there we go. These forces here. Pioneers. Heavy flak would be nice. Their numbers aren't that great. More flak would be good. I'm going to go with more flak. Okay, so we boost their strength. We do have heavy Panzerjägers. We do have self-propelled artillery there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in some... no, these aren't going to be great. Okay. I do have SS Panzer forces over here, which is good, very good. And I just need to hold on to them. I'd like to punch through without using extra forces, obviously, other than the Volksjägers, which I didn't have much choice about. So if I move my Volksjägers there, they can't manage it. Okay. I may commit these forces. We'll see who would have more movement. It's a very difficult choice. I know this has taken a very long time, but we need to break through. And honestly, at the moment, I can't guarantee a breakthrough. So I need to make sure I pay attention to this. So they're going to be entrenched. So it's just infantry at the moment. We should be able to overrun them if we have the numbers. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to throw... I'm going to throw a force of Volksgrenadier. Okay, so that's 5 divisions. It's obviously overkill to a degree. There we go. So 13, 6, 14, 3, and 4. Do I throw another division in here? I do run the risk of oversaturating our front line, though I should be able to move out this division at the very least, so I think I'm going to go for that. I'd rather break through than not. So we're going to try and break through. I'm going to change my message details up to a high level at the moment. Okay. So we'll fire off the attack. Okay, Volks Artillery Brigade, Volks Artillery Brigade, Volks Artillery Brigade. Fantastic. Okay. Now, they only have 10,000 men. I mean, we are committing to this attack with about 91,996 troops in total. 565 pieces of armoured. 1,679 guns. Okay. Change the message level down. Chemical mortars. I'm going to guess slight smoke. Okay, so they did retreat. That's fantastic. Now, you've got to take notice of the fact that they did have the actual town over here to support them. But we have punched through. We do have some movement available right now. There's no further movement here in most of these forces. But we do have some movement, which is good. Now, let's see. These forces here. I could move one to the south. Which might be a good idea to do so. I'd only be able to use a one force. Okay. Let's see, can I move any of these forces back? I can't. That's what I was afraid of. Now, do we continue to push on through? That's the question. So would we push into light snow? The morale's going to be low. What's the supplies like? Supplies is somewhat poor over there. So we're aware of a US cavalry group and 2 forces of infantry. I'm not interested in diluting my forces, which is the issue here. So, do we push on to the north, sorry, to the west directly? Or do we move over here where we'd actually have more power? I mean, this is the Panzer division. And they're the ones actually giving some decent support. I think we'll move here then. Right. No success. So we're aware of a US armoured battalion. Okay. This is going to be difficult. I've not had the breakthrough I wanted. Could I go for another attack? I could go for a... We might try and attack down here then. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, we've actually captured the depot there. That's great. The reason being we actually do have a breakthrough now. I could exploit that. Hello there, Truth. How you doing, my dude? Okay. That's good to see, though. At least I have something I can actually exploit. Which, you know what? I might do that and stick to that. With that, I actually punch through and I do actually cut off their forces, at least over here. Yeah, I'm going to commit to that movement. Okay, so we have 140 armoured fighting vehicles there, just over nearly a division's worth of strength. Okay. I do need to secure this position, so I'm going to push forward with the panzers. And I could make a quick sweep at them. Only scouted, okay, we only lost 2 armoured fighting vehicles. But we can see that there's around about... not a massive amount of force there, but a decent amount of force. So we are playing with challenging AI, which does make things more difficult to do so, really. But what I'm going to do here, then, is I'm going to have our forces move up support our troops. Okay. How's the headquarters? That's a very weak force. Okay. Now you can see that the 1st SS Panzer division could actually move all the way to Alon. Which is all well and good, but it's not quite the direction I wanted to head. Though it might not be the worst idea. I mean, if it was able to cut these forces off. Tempting. Tempting. It actually is fairly tempting, you know. I mean, the thing is, could I guarantee a cut off from the other side? Not really. I don't have the forces in place. If I had the armoured and the Panzer Grenadiers over here in the north, then I could actually somewhat guarantee that. For now, they need to hold their position, considering the strength of US forces over here. It seems to be their weakest point over here in the Ardennes. Okay. So, possibility that remains open to us is we use this force over here, which I think I will do. I'm going to move the 1st SS Panzer Division. I'm going to give them extra support if I can. So they do have SS Panzer Heavy, so yep, they have 44 King Tigers that are ready and raring for action. Like the Wildebeest in One Pacific. Yeah. Fucking Wildebeest, man. Okay. Let's see what I can assign. Right, they are fully equipped. I'll assign them over here then. Okay. So I'm going to make a full planned attack there, but what I'd like to do is actually move the headquarters forward. Right, move that core. Just the core. Okay, what I'm trying to do is get the most support I can here. I'm going to launch an attack. Fuck, they held. I don't know if I should use the force here. We'll go for another full attack and then we might try a... Finally, there we go, that's what I needed. Okay, now that's good. That gives me some actual movement to play with. What I could do here then is actually use these forces and make a rushed attack against the armor division here, which I'm going to go for. Hopefully we can force them... Oh, so very close, so very close to breaking them. Might have another enemy. No, we don't. Okay. We'll try... I just need to dislodge them. They're holding their goddamn positions, but the thing is, this is now open, so that's good news. Okay, so I'm going to move forward this group here. What do we have here? I'm going to make a quick attack, see what we have. Scouted, right, US Armor Division, and it appears to be a headquarters. So yeah, a element of a US Armored, but the thing is, we've actually pushed through now, which is good news. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread out these... Okay, can you guys just tell me if the stream's running here? I mean, I just got that message pop up, so I'm honestly not entirely sure. Just give me a heads up if the stream is still running. I'd love to know. Okay, I mean, the stream's health seems okay. Strange. Okay, good. The stream's still live. That's good to see then. Okay, so we've broken through over here. Now, I wish I could have dislodged this division, but the forces stacked up here are going to prevent that. So what I do have the opportunity to do is potentially push forward with this force here. I could move them here and try to dislodge them. The thing is, I don't want to burn all my fuel. I'm somewhat reluctant to even do this, really. Do they have another attack in them? Only scouted. I know I'm throwing armoured fighting vehicles to the wind here. The thing I'm trying to do is just really drive their numbers down. Each attack is causing them to lose armoured fighting vehicles, which is what I need. Right, come on. It is getting that a little bit closer. If only I had a few more forces in the area, I could have broken through. But they are ready to fall. Right, we're going to move these headquarters out of the way. Okay, so that opens things up. 39. Okay. I'm going to move this force over here. The headquarters is going to move up closer. We'll give you some infantry to work with, and some flak from OKW. There we go. So I could make a full attack against this position, which I will do, and they finally do retreat. Thankfully, the attack proved to be a success. Now I could move over here to the north, which I'm going to do. There we go. Right, now I'm very happy about this. This has actually opened things up to a good degree. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move anything else that I have available into this to fill this up. I'd rather keep the panzers fresh. If I have that option, that is. Okay, I could move that 150th Brigade in, which I will do. Okay. So we've expended a lot of our firepower to actually break through. But the thing is, we do have our opening there, and the allies are going to find it pretty difficult to actually close that gap, ideally. It's not as wide as I wanted it to be, but what we can do is we can work on widening that. The important thing is that we do have our crossing here, which is pretty damn good. Okay. So if we draw that out. So at the moment, our position is like this. No, that's not the worst position. It's actually pretty decent. In fairness, I could push on towards Arlon, but what do I really gain by pushing towards Arlon? Because we have only a small town there, it's not very important. It would cut this rail line to the south and potentially endanger these forces here, but the thing is, I just don't have the strength to go like this and like this. I just don't have that strength over there. It's just not present and available. So what we're going to do then is basically hold this position here, so... God knows, what would a shield look like? Okay. So this is our shield here. So I'm going to hold this position. I know it's really bad. I couldn't honestly think of how to draw a shield. I mean, without making it look like a love heart. So we have our position there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have the SS Panzers, they're going to push towards this area here. I'm going to have them move up, or they might stay in place and build up fuel if I can do so, which is probably a better idea. So they're going to do that. And then I want them to push towards Namur. Namur is going to be the idea here. The terrain isn't great, but if I could, I'd like to split off and take the air base over here. The reason being I could use that to resupply, but that is obviously quite a few hexes out. That's actually quite dangerous to do. So what we're going to do then is we're going to concentrate on this attack over here. Now, the role of the 5th Panzer Army is going to be widening this gap in this direction to a degree, but ultimately just widening the gap here. We need to push this force back and push these forces back over here. I'd like to have a gap that is in fact this wide. That would be the best case scenario. If that's going to happen, I doubt it, but that would be the best case scenario. Okay. Now, I know you guys aren't going to be happy about this, but this is where we're going to draw the stream to a close. I apologise about the extreme length of time, but we have managed to break through the allied lines over here, and if we can hold this position, which I feel confident in doing so, what I'm also going to do is actually have, let's see, 2nd SS Panzer Division, SS Panzer Corps. Okay, that's good. Okay. We do have the benefit of an airfield over here. So what I could do is actually have these guys air resupply. We don't have an airfield over here, sadly. If I did, that would have been great. I could have got some supplies back in there, but that's fine. What we'll consider then is actually moving fuel to these forces over here, try and push them over their capacity. And if you can take a look over here, we could push on towards this location there, but I'd rather not. We do have the advantage of these Panzer Grenadiers. They are available, so if we do decide that we need to reinforce this position, I could very much do so. And it's like if we break that unit up, you can see I can still do that, which is probably a good idea. Having some Panzer Grenadiers there would be great. Okay. So what we'll do then is we'll take a greater look at this in the next stream, and we'll go from there. But we have punched through in our position here. We just need to continue to grind through the allies and push on up. We do still have some garrisons around here. Yeah, there's really nothing we could do with them. Not quite yet. Okay. We'll try and make the best use of our forces as we can. It's going to be a difficult one, though. I'm not going to lie about that. Okay. So, until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and goodbye for now. Do comment and like the video if you enjoyed this, and comments down below, see what you think. Did I push the units in the wrong place? Should I have actually used all my forces over here to make the initial punch, which is probably the idea I should have gone with. But then against one of those, do you want to go overkill, or do you want to actually break through with the bare minimum? I should have gone for overkill. That's how you ensure success. So, that's a lesson learned, and we'll go from there. So until next time, guys, thank you, and goodbye.